Welcome to Loans and Drones. This is episode 17, and we have a very special guest today. It happens to be my wife, Laura Pendley, and let's go. All right, Laura, we are here today with you, who happens to be married to me. So, first question, what's for dinner?
You have a daddy-daughter date, so the world is your oyster. I don't know. I'm not cooking tonight.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
off.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So we have two daughters. We have Jordan, who's 4, and this is Gianna, who is 1. And Laura her full-time job is kids and family, right?
Just like wiping.
Yeah.
My full-time job.
So here's a good question to ask. It's like, look, I'm always on the go, doing this stuff, trying to help provide a financial piece to feed the family. What's your perspective? Like, we don't get to talk very much because obviously with kids. What's your perspective on your end of it?
Well, I don't know. You work from home a lot, so I feel like I'm kind of just on the side. Like, I observe your work all the time, and you kind of do see me too, but you're, in your own element. And like I said, I'm just wiping. I'm just like wiping faces and butts and floors and dogs and like constantly. So my job is pretty lame. You get the interaction, but a lot of times I get to see it.
Your job is priceless because I can't do what I do without having you at home. And I think in this day and age, like, society paints a different picture for a homemaker.
Yeah.
What's your view on that?
Well, I really struggled in the beginning. I never thought I would stay home. I just have kind of harbored some guilt about I'm not financially providing, but I just have come into my role differently now. Like, I see how being home shapes them and how I get to have hi, you have something to say now? We get to hang a lot. It's the best, it's like, would I rather be home and raise them how we want them to be raised, how the values we want to instill, or do I want to work so I can pay somebody else to raise them?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes it kind of an easy decision.
Yeah. I mean, setting a foundation, and I think in today's day and age, you have to create a foundation of how you want your kids to be raised. So, and the beauty of this is it's totally raw. We have a kid here who is like literally like,
we got two. One's just really tidy and
yeah. We call Gianna Pigpen. So she's our outgoing one, and but at the end of the day, we love them both. And
this might turn into her interview.
Yeah.
The other cool thing about being home too is I feel like now that JoJo's getting a little older and she's got her own kind of friend group, I feel like I'm really available to help with her friends and their families. And so I love being able to know the people that Jordan is surrounded by when I'm not there. Do you know what I mean? Like, if she's at school, who's she hanging out with at school? I want to be a safe space for those kids to be here too. And those families, like, hey, we're really busy. Can you help out? That's the best. I feel like I want our house to feel comfortable for our kids to be at, for our kids' friends to be at. Like, if my house ends up being filled with kids when, not just our two, but filled with their friends growing up, I think that's the best. Like, I want to be involved in that way.
Yeah, it's great to know. Like, I mean, in this world, there's so many fears that kids have to grow up with in today's world. Like, it's just like, where are you going? Like, we see it with our own kids. We have to make sure that they're going to a safe space or where they're going. So
I think it's just different too. Like, I'm sure there were things that were, we should have been afraid of when my generation, and you're a little older, so your generation too.
There you go. There's the age difference.
But it is different now. Like, we're so hyper aware of it. Technology is a whole different beast. So I think, maybe it's helicopter of me, but like, I would rather be over involved than not knowing anything where my kids are at,
Yeah. And I think one of the things that you mentioned that I see as somebody who's just constantly focused on just one vision, which is work and what I do, is the fact that you are a servant leader in the community. So I don't even know if you noticed know that I know that, but that's one of the things I notice about you. And I see people acknowledging it too. Like she'll cook dinners for people that are sick or families that are sick. She's taking care of kids. That's stuff that like, it's not the norm. So I appreciate that about you. And that's what makes me inspired and motivated to get out and do what I do to help support the family. So when you say like you have the mom guilt, like I have the dad guilt of like, I'm not doing enough for you as a husband. So if there's one or two things other than just picking up clothes, because I know I'm messy.
I'm good at that stuff. That's okay.
What could somebody like myself, like I would say, talk to the people like myself that just have the wife at home, and what can we do to make you have a comfortable life and then help?
I think the mom guilt is not something that anybody else can speak into. Like that's something that, you know, I need to work on. And I do work on it. I feel like in the 5 years that I've been home, really shifted my focus on that. Helping wise, I think it's more, it's hard in your industry because you, like we were talking about before with Travis and Christian, it's like you pride yourself on being available all the time. And clients can call you, realtors can call you, whoever can call you, and you're going to pick up the phone. And if you're on a phone call, you're going to call them right back. But the caveat to that is like a lot of the times it's when people are off of their job and their home, and this is their time to be able to talk through things. So that interferes with family time or bedtime or, you know, whatever it might be. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast. Like, I think it's grace going back and forth. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell, are you really on the phone working or are you just like doom scrolling because you need a mental break? There's a place for that too. Like you can have a couple minutes to just mindlessly scroll through stuff. I do that all the time. But I think that's just a hard thing to differentiate. It's like, I wish I could see your screen as like one color if you're working and like one color if you're just like avoiding.
Yeah. Like last night I was putting something together and she's like, can you help out with the kids? And I go, I am actually doing something that's work.
I don't sound that mean.
She sounds horrible. I'm just kidding. We don't have that. We don't have that issue. Marriage is marriage, you know, like you get caught up in your own stuff. And so you forget that the other person's doing their job and their role and they're trying their best and, you know, to do what they need to do to make ends meet.
I will say you're so intentional about like pursuing me, which I think is just unique to you. That's something that could easily slip through the cracks. And if you've got, important calls. If you have, you know, two busy people, whether one's working, one's at home, or both are working, or whatever it might be, I think that intentionality can really slip. But you are like, we need a date. Like, get your parents to watch. Get Maddie, your adorable babysitter, watch them so we can go out, just us two. Like, and for me, I'm always like, oh, it's just easier if we watch the kids. It's fine. We can take them. And you are always the one that's like, no, you and me are going out to a nice dinner.
Didn't know that. That's good to know. I didn't realize that.
And it's easier for me to be like, we could just take the kids, but it's so different. I mean, this is like, you know, it's just harder.
Yeah. I think
Makes
so.
It work, but it's harder.
So two things. One is, this is just my own views, but when it comes to marriage, you always look at when you have a family. I think there's so many people that try to put so much emphasis and focus on the kids, and they lose that engagement with each other and that intimacy. And so I fear that. Like that's one of the biggest fears is you get to like where we're empty nesters and we don't know each other.
Yeah. Well, that sounds awful. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. So that's the reason why I'm like, okay. Like what I heard that you should do is have date nights, have vacation times, stuff like that. And, you know, those are from successful marriages.
Yeah.
So there is a rhyme to the reason.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I think that's one of the biggest things with making sure if you want to have a healthy relationship with your kids is to show the healthy relationship with the spouse.
Yeah, for sure.
Like one of the things that I think it was fun, remember we actually would like kiss each other and then look at the kid, like one of the kids, and then they would
They
smile.
just lose it. They think it's the coolest.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just.
They're
I
going
remember
to get
my
older
parents,
and be like, oh, gross.
I remember my parents. I'd be like, when they showed each other affection, I'd be happy. That's a kid's view.
Yeah.
You know.
Other tricky thing about it too is like kids' needs. Like right now, their needs are so immediate and feel urgent and nonstop. And for a mom who's staying home, especially, it feels like sometimes by the end of the day, you're touched out. You're like, I have met everyone's needs all day long. Like, I need to just not be needed for a minute. Do you know what I mean? So kind of fighting that and just realizing, like, just because your spouse is not going to come to you like pulling at your shirt or won't let you go to the bathroom by yourself or like, you know, needs you to feed them, it doesn't mean that their needs aren't important too. They just look different. So it's like kind of finding that balance between, okay, these seem immediate pressing needs, but then they go to bed and then let's talk. Like, what's going on with your day? That's our one question we always ask at the end of the day is like, what was your rose and thorn? Because it's like a good summary of where were you at today? Yeah.
And that's good to know. I mean, like as somebody that's just, I have, like I said, a one-track mind, you lose that like awareness of what the other person needs. Like, and I see you kind of tapping out at the end and I need to be more engaged with that. So one of the things that you just answered was, hey, I need my me time. Cause I do see you with like the earpiece in, listen to both sides of the aisle, which I don't know how she does it. She can listen to the Democrat and Republican side of the political world. So that's
not the only thing I listen to, but sometimes it's nice. Like if you're doing kind of mundane tasks at home, she's napping, you're doing dishes, whatever. It's nice to just, because it's like when you're home, you don't talk to a lot of adults. It's kind of nice to hear like, what's going on in the world besides wiping?
So what are the things that you do? I mean, I think this is good to know for people that are listening that give you sanity when it comes to, okay, I don't want to be talking to a child all day long. What are things that outside of the family that you do?
Well, it's not that I don't want to be not talking to a child.
Well,
like,
I mean,
this is the best job in the world.
No, I'm not saying it's bad, but you do need like adult time too. Otherwise, you're gonna
just sing songs all day.
Sing songs, you know, like. No, what do you do? Like what do I do? Yeah, what do you do outside
I got back into Pilates, which I love. It's not like a super sweaty workout. I can get it done early before the kids even wake up. And that's just like, it's a very non-judgmental class. I love the teachers. That's been kind of giving me some, like, okay, you can go and if you can be you for an hour. And then my mom's group at church has been awesome. It's been like a real blessing to me to just, you check your kids into the nursery and you get to talk and like pour into the word and figure out what your role looks like now. And, you know, I could see being with these women for years to come and how that shifts. And so that's been really fulfilling too.
And don't forget your book club.
I have a book club.
She is a book club avid reader. Yeah.
And JoJo's excited because the book we're reading right now, she's actually a local author and it's about a mermaid. So she sees that on my nightside table. It's pretty exciting. But it's like a lot of books I probably would never pick up otherwise. So it's kind of fun. And honestly, we're there to like eat food and have some wine and talk. And then we talk about the book a little bit. It's great.
That's what we do at football. That's what we do at football games.
It's like once every 6 weeks. Like I'm not getting flashy with it, but
still a book club.
It's a book club. Oh my God. Do you remember when, we were no, you weren't there. I was at Otter Cove with the girl. Well, I don't even know if Gigi was born yet. Anyways, I'm swimming in the pool with JoJo and this little kid keeps swimming up kind of close to me. And sometimes like when you're a mom at a public pool and you're playing with your kids, other kids are like, I want somebody to play with me too. So she was kind of swimming up to me and, some of that. And, you know, I'm like kind of tangentially, like, you know, playing around too. And then she went underwater and like grabbed JoJo's foot. And I'm like, okay, that's like kind of it's like a weird border. So I'm like, hi, honey, like, how are you? And like trying to just bridge this, like, why are you touching my child? I mean, she was like 6. And she goes, hi, you're in my grandma's book club. And I was like, oh.
There you go. There it is.
Yep, I sure am. Hi, Marilyn. I see you now on the side.
Oh my gosh. So wait,
sweet.
so okay, so what are the age differences in your book club? You and then what's the next?
I think there's one friend who's a couple years, well, Geneva's younger sister, Christina's a couple years
so you got
younger.
one younger. Okay,
one
good,
younger.
Good. That balances out a little bit.
Probably there's like a sprinkling of us in our 30s, some 40s, and then like some of the younger ones like moms. So I'm not going to guess ages because you don't ask a
confidential.
lady.
Yeah, it's confidential.
Yes.
All right.
So we run like a gamut, but it's fun.
Okay. Okay, so let's transition to church, because I like what you said, that you can drop off your kids. I think this is one of the beauties of going to church, is that you can not only create a foundation with your kids, meaning other kids, but it gives the parents space to actually work with them. So I think that's the family dynamic of church has been a really big impact for our family.
Oh, sure, yeah.
What are some things that you notice when you, like the kids ministry, or when you're talking about that?
We're so lucky. Like, well, it's not luck. We're just really blessed. Like, our ministry for kids is so good. I mean, Jordan will be like singing worship songs around the house. It's so sweet. Just how she talks about the Holy Spirit. And I'm like, what 4-year-old, 5-year-old is talking like that? So they really do a great job. And you just know that they're safe there. They're learning, they're playing, they're having fun. I mean, she comes home with crafts like constantly. They're having a good time. So I feel really good about that. And then the kids ministry goes from like itty bitty, younger, I think the youngest is probably 6 weeks old. And then each part of the nursery is super divided. So it's like babies, and it's like crawlers, walkers, toddlers, and then it goes up to preschool, older preschool. Like, they're really specific about their age groups, which I think is really nice because they can really get on their level, and the kids play well together then. And then it goes through, I think it goes through 5th grade, right? And then once they get to middle school, they start coming into service with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's, I think there's something to be said with the community helping you raise your kids.
For sure.
So one of the things that we did right away was we dedicated both of our children to kind of let the church know that, hey, these are your kids too. So like, we're all working together to help raise each other's kids. And it's a pretty decent sized church. I mean,
it's a big one.
We have how many campuses? Like 5 campuses?
5, yeah.
But not to say that needs to be like your church. But at the end of the day, I think in this day and age, you have to have people helping people with your family. And that's one of the things I notice about you. Like I said, you're a servant leader. So you go out and give dinners. And by the way, her chicken Parmesan is the best.
That's like my favorite for new moms.
You guys need to have some.
We'll
have Chris and Travis over for that.
Yeah, you come on over. Seriously, and we have people over, I feel like, a lot for dinner. I love that. I think there's some things, just meeting somebody's tangible need with dinner, where it's like, okay, especially new moms, it's like, this is kind of a labor-intensive meal that you probably won't make yourself. It's not like a frozen thing you just heat up. So,
anything else that you can give insight to for those moms out there that might be at home, not listening to kids all the time, but I just think there's a perspective that you probably see that could be relatable to a lot of other people.
Well, I don't know if it's like advice, because like I'm figuring it out too. One thing that I really try and work on myself, and I have so much room for improvement. I know I said like I've got an AirPod and I'm listening to podcasts. That's when she's napping, they're mundane tasks. Jordan is like occupied doing her stuff, but just like to intentionally put my phone away, especially when I'm playing with them. Like, I don't take my phone in their rooms. It doesn't go in the playroom with us. Like, I never want my kids to compete with this rectangle sitting in front of them. It's like, yeah, your phone can be really fun because you can learn anything the internet has to offer. It can also be a horribly dangerous thing, but you could find whatever you want. And then it's like, you could do that, or you could play Magnetiles for the 80th time this week, But it's making that intention to be like, no, this is more important for my kid. I don't want them to be competing with my phone for my attention.
Yeah, which I gotta say, Magnetiles is the best.
It's
invention.
the best toy. Oh my gosh,
best invention ever. Chris, you need to get some Magnetiles. Do you have Magnetiles? Okay, he doesn't have Magnetiles. We're gonna get him a set.
It's the best. My go-to toy for sure.
Jordan and I last night built this huge barn, and we put animals in. Yeah. Not real animals, they're fake Magnetile animals, but it was awesome. Just puts you in a whole different world. But Chris even mentioned this on his episode that, as he, gets into family world down the road, that is a big issue in today's world, is the phone, the screen time. If you ever get a chance, I think you watched this, you might even send it to me. She always sends me cool stuff on Instagram, but the 7-year-old that does the TED Talk about the first 5 years of your life being the most impressionable years, and how it makes so much of a difference of you being engaged in front of your kids, not in front of your kids, but with your kids without that. And when you start looking at, and I'm one to get help on this, because obviously that was a huge issue for me, a lot. But just to put down the phone and set those boundaries so that those kids can feel like you're fully engaged. Otherwise, when it was crazy, because the guy that was actually showing the example, he put up his phone and his kid was lunging for him to try to get his attention, and then finally put down the phone, and then there was that engagement. And I think that's so many people in today's world set that boundary up in front of their kids, which is a wall, and that's the phone.
And it's even just if you are working on something work related and it's really pressing, you've got to get it done. Just even if your kid is talking to you, Jordan will come in your office all the time, and it's making that intention to move the phone from your direct line of sight and just look her in the eyes and say, I have to send this. I hear you, and I'm going to talk to you. Let me just finish up this email, and then we're going to talk about it. Yeah. It's just even the acknowledging, I hear you. I'm not ignoring you. I need to do this right now, and then we're going to talk about this.
Right. Right. No, that's good to know, because you talk about mom guilt. I talk about the dad guilt with, okay, I have to work. This is what I have to do. And COVID created this where that space at home forces you to always be in a work mode.
It's so confusing for kids too. Daddy's home. Why is he not playing with me? It's well, because this is how he pays for toys. So he's got to do some work too.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is how he buys all the Magnetiles. Actually, those were handed down to us from our neighbors. It's the best.
Yeah. Let me just touch on this really quick. So we have there's this whole world that I don't know if anybody even knows about, but moms helping other moms. This is big, because I think you know where I'm going with it. It's the clothes, right? The when you mentioned hand-me-downs, talk about that. This is great for other moms to know that
they
can help.
Know. This is
the moms.
The moms know.
Dads don't know this. So
the dads don't know. The moms know.
Moms are entrepreneurs. Moms are entrepreneurs at heart, by spirit, just spirit.
Out of necessity, and it's the best, because once your kids are outgrown all the clothes, you kind of want them out of your house too. So it helps you. But we have been so blessed and it's actually so sweet, because the person that we get the most hand-me-downs from is my dear friend and old neighborhood. She lived in my neighborhood, and I used to wear her hand-me-downs. And even just the smell of the laundry was so exciting. I totally idolized her. I love Jamie so much. And now my kids wear her hand-me-downs from her daughter, and the laundry still smells amazing. And Jordan and I are both excited. She's like, look at this dress. It's just, it's the best. And then we get a pet. I need somebody close to have a kid, another girl, maybe a year behind Gigi. So
yeah, I mean, for months, for years, we were taking big. I mean, this isn't just 2 shirts. This is
tons. I mean,
Tupperware,
thousands and thousands of dollars, and shoes, and all the things, even outgrown toys. It's
how many sets of shoes do you think that we inherited.
Could not even ballpark hundreds.
So you take that times 20. I mean, like, it's just the amount of money that
kids' shoes are a little cheaper, but still, it's a lot of money.
All right. Well,
no.
Either way, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot
of money. So,
but once they outgrow them, it's like, well, what are you going to do? You know, you could donate them, but if you've got family or friends or neighbors, we got to help each other out. And I think, good job, Gigi. Moms are really good about that. Like,
yeah.
Well, all the moms in my, we call them our village. Like all the moms in my village, we're all really looking out for each other.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, even seeing like there's a Facebook group called Wheaton Moms.
Oh yeah, that's probably.
They're always trading. Yeah. They're trading back and forth. So, like, men, do not discount the fact that women are.
I might not be making money, but I'm saving
money. That, like, when you do the math on that, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
I mean, it's a lot of money that you're saving. So we're going to get into speed.
Oh, I'm going to ask you.
Speed date. You're going to ask me?
I'm going to ask you.
Okay, so she's going to ask me. So we're changing up.
I tried really hard to think of things. Like, we know everything about each other.
Do we?
We know a lot about each other. Okay. All
right, so she's going to change this around a little bit then. Okay.
Okay. All right. You can go back in time to your childhood for one day. What are you doing that day?
Oh, playing wiffle ball for sure.
Who are you playing with?
Neighborhood kids. I mean, who doesn't love the Sandlot movie? Like, I truly think those are the golden years for boys anyways, because we didn't have anything other than just trading cards, playing wiffle ball, and like just summertime was awesome being on your bike and just rolling around the neighborhood.
Yeah. I thought you would say war too. You played a lot of war.
Oh yeah, of course war, but under current circumstances, just stay away from that.
Bill's very convinced that there's going to be a war. I think a lot of men are feeling like that, and I'm like, you know what? There are too many people. Like we have good friends on all sides of the spectrum politically, and we don't want any, we don't wish any ill will on any of them. So it's like I think there's a lot of fear mongering in politics and news. And at the end of the day, it's like we care for each other. And I don't think we need to worry like that. There's certain things to really stand up for. But other things, it's like if you have a different opinion, still love you for you. We just come at it from different views. And that's okay.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always right, but.
She is.
No, I'm kidding.
She is. Well, she listens. She listens to all ears.
I'm teasing. I'm not always right. We all have a lot to learn. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Again, I really tried to think about this.
Really? Okay. So she's taking over.
Okay. So, who played the best Batman?
That's a good one. I might have to defer this one to the guys. Yeah, I know they're Batman people.
Christian Bale. Yeah.
Christian Bale.
I thought you would say
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's my favorite Batman, but that series, that run.
You see who
Batman
played
is
him
my
best.
favorite. Yeah.
So just on who played like Bruce Wayne best in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I feel like all the
Okay.
characters they picked were really solid. Like everyone, Joker, Bane, all of them.
Totally. Yes.
I always liked
Heath Ledger was the best Joker.
No, your best Bane in person.
I don't know. I don't even know what Bane.
What were you dressed up for? What charity event was that? Bill was Batman last winter, right?
Oh.
I think it was that Casa event.
What?
Yeah, you were in the tux. You had the Batman
mask.
Yes,
you were. I did have the Batman
people
mask.
People were coming up to you because they just wanted to hear
we
you.
went to a Casa event last year, and it was a masquerade. And so I took the Batman mask. The Batman guy.
Yeah.
Not the Batman guy, you know what I'm saying. But anyways, yeah. I would probably say when it comes to Batman, well, first of all, you can't take away from the OGs, like the 60s guys. Those guys, I wasn't alive yet, but still, I mean, we're talking who played the best.
He was close though. Bill's old.
Seriously? Oh, great. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very little.
Just teasing.
So the other one.
Great for 70, right?
Really? 70? Come on. All right. So the other one is, I think Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
The reason I think, because I really liked how he and Jack Nicholson were in the movie. And you'd say, well, probably, I don't know, were you alive during that movie?
I feel like I watched it, but not. I'm sure I was not. Maybe. If you could go backstage of any concert, what's it going to be?
What if I've already been backstage?
I know you have, but like, if you could pick any.
Which my friend Megan's gonna super mad at. I snuck backstage of the Dave Matthews Band. And this was a very critical time for him because this is a day after his bus let go of dropped the deuces on the architectural tour.
Speaking of wiping, yeah.
Did you know about that?
Oh yeah. Oh come on,
No?
that was big news.
No? Okay. Yeah, don't do that. All right. So anyways. Oh, okay. I thought he was like,
Just stop.
All right. So Dave Matthews actually had his tour bus going over the river in Chicago. And this is a day before the concert that I went to that I got backstage. And the tour bus literally let her rip down through the grates of the bridge. And then the unfortunate part was there was an architectural tour boat going underneath the bridge at the same time.
Gosh.
So there was literally people looking up going, look at that flying buttress. And all of a sudden,
yuck.
Just feces.
Just
like all over the whole tour.
Yeah.
It was just a bit, it hit headline news.
I know. I can't believe, I feel like that.
I think anyone saved it and it's like selling on eBay.
Oh my Lord.
Save the
help them
feces?
if they are.
Yeah, they got a sign.
Oh no.
I don't know, but I actually pulled it up.
Let's give them an evaluation if that's the case.
Yeah, my friend Megan, she's a huge Dave Matthews fan, and I always bring it up. In fact, one Halloween, if we're talking about Halloween costumes, I dressed up like somebody who had the feces all over him.
Oh, that is something I didn't know about you.
Yeah.
That was actually an accident. He just fell in dog poop.
Anyways. Well, I guess I would.
You didn't answer me. So what's it going to be? What concert?
Oh,
who are you going backstage for?
Man, that's a good question. I would say Rolling Stones.
Okay.
It's an oldie but goodie.
Yeah.
Like you can't go wrong with Rolling Stones. Sure. They're the best. They're the best band out there, I think.
All right.
I don't know. I guess we have to figure it out. I would say JT, Justin Timberlake. We're actually going to the concert.
Yeah.
That's a date night. So I would ask like where people can find you, but we're married. So
just like at your house.
All right.
Doing the dishes.
So if you want to talk to Laura, you talk to me first, okay? Thank you so much. We'll have you on without kids next time. No, not that I don't love you kids. No, we love our kids. But thank you so much for coming on. And I appreciate everything you do as a wife. And you think that you don't contribute at times, and you contribute more than you realize. And I love you for it. Yeah. And thank you. So that being said, we are going to wrap up the episode 17 of Loans and Drones. We'll see you in the next one.